Hello there, good morning to you. Gosh, we're very busy already this morning, aren't we? Hope you're having a lovely weekend so far. I know we're only just into it. Don't know about you, but we are soggy in Lincolnshire. Morning, Alex, first one in there. Cheryl, Louisa, morning to you. We are live on YouTube at the same time as well. We haven't got any comments there as yet, unless I'm just missing them. Morning, Camilla. Oh, Caroline's there. Morning, Caroline on YouTube. Geraldine. I'll do my quick hellos. I hate missing everybody, you know. Catherine, we're really good today, thank you. Bobbin, the dog's gone to bed with my son. He works nights, so he sleeps all day, and it's raining, so she won't come out. So no Bob cam, so she's gone back to bed again. Oh, hi Minu. Happy Saturday from Geordieland, says Stephen. Yeah, soggy in Devon. Good morning, everyone. Oh, we're so busy. Snowy and damp in Northamptonshire. Oh, I hope it doesn't. Oh, snowy and white and crisp and even is lovely. Snowy and damp's not so nice, is it? Snowing in Aberdeen. Sorry if I miss any of your messages. They're coming up like this on my screens at the moment. So, Brenda in Kentucky, saw yours. Hello to you. Maggie's got her cork fabric, lovely. Right, I'm going to go right down to the bottom. Muddy in Leicestershire. Oh, we got covered in mud yesterday. We went for a walk with the dog, and it's like knee deep. Right, soaked in South Africa. A lovely soaked South Africa. Okay, what I'm going to do today, I've been asked a few times for purse organisers or bag organisers, so I've been having a look around at different styles, and the ones that roll up seem to be the most useful because you can use them in different bags. So if it's a smaller one, you can roll it up tighter. If it's a bigger one, you could make it bigger. Don't roll it up so much. So I'm going to make a really simple roll-up thing with organiser with pockets on it, and one of the pockets is going to have a flap, so it's nice and secure there as well. Hi Lynn. Hi Jude in Homdean. Where's that? And Angela in Dorset. Nice and snowy and rainy. Yeah, we seem to be a very wet country at the moment here in England. My sound is up and on, so I'm not sure what's happening there, Amanda. Susan says I'm quiet. Do you know what it is? I'll have a look at this for just a second. I know exactly why I'm quiet. Because I haven't put my mic on. This may be a little bit noisy while I do apologise. How unprofessional is that? Right, that's the. How's that? Can you hear me better now? It helps if you wear your mic instead of having it at the table at the side. So hopefully that's sorted it. Louise in the south of France, hello to you too. Are you new to us this morning? Come and let me know. Oh, hi Kim. Kim's on YouTube this morning. She's probably on both, to be honest. Yeah, it helps, doesn't it, Marion, when you wear a microphone? Oh, there's always a glitch and no matter how prepped I am, there's always a glitch of some sort. Anyway, I am going to be doing a bag organiser, a more structured one on YouTube, but it may be Katja in the Black Forest in Germany. Hello. It may be a few days because I've got rather a lot on at the moment. Hello Jane, she's new in Edinburgh. Great Riley. Oh well, hopefully volume's okay now. I've actually put my mic on. Hi Maura in Melbourne in Australia. We're all over the place today, aren't we? Really am live. Oh Zell, I didn't give you that link, did I, for the what was it? The wallet frame. Need to do that. And to Mary. Sorry about that. Need to say hello to Jackie Cooper if you're watching this morning. I should have said hello to you 2 weeks ago and I forgot. I woke up this morning thinking, oh, I didn't say hello to Jackie, watching with her rather lovely son. And I also need to mention, I've got a list. Debbie Harris is going to be on Sewing Street on Tuesday making something from one of my books. So have a tune in there. Anyway, let's get back to this. So what I've done is cut 2 strips of fabric. These measure 6 inches by 35 inches. So I've got 2 strips of fabric, and one of them I've put some fusible fleece on the wrong size. So I've used H630 on this one, and when it rolls up, that's the kind of size that you're going to get. So it'll fit, I mean, it'll go tighter if you don't put so much in it. So it'll fit anything up to a large tote bag, really. Right, so that's that. Then I've also cut another strip which is 4.5 inches wide, and that's 35 inches long again. And then I had a little bit spare, so that was off the end of the roll because that's 44 inches wide. So I'm just going to make a flap to go over one of the pockets in the middle. So it's ever so easy. Hi Linny in Southern California, welcome along to our little Saturday sew along and chat. Stockholm is Maud, watching you for years. Oh, first time recorders live, so and so in Idaho, in the USA. Vera's doing alterations. Oh Vera, it took me a long time to learn how to say no, because you think you're doing people favours. Oh, I can help you out, I can do that, and they don't realise that you spend all day, if not longer than that, actually doing them. So yeah, you have to learn to say maybe not no, but you're rather busy, you have other commitments. You would if you could. That's kind of polite, isn't it? Dreary in Dorset. Morning, Lisa. I know, the weeks are going so quickly at the moment, aren't they? Good morning, Beverly in Tennessee. Oh, we could spend all day saying good morning to everybody, couldn't we? But let's get on with some sewing. Thank you very much, Kim. I thought I'd dress summery, seeing as it's so miserable outside at the moment. Anyhow, this is going to be really simple. So keep your ideas and inspiration coming, by the way. So small projects that don't need patterns is what we do on a Saturday morning. Right, so I'll need to make the pocket up first of all. So I'm just going to take my 2 pocket pieces and sew them, if there was a right sides together, like so. So don't need anything special machine wise or stitch wise for this. And a good project for a beginner as well, I'm thinking. And then away we go. And I'm just using the edge of the foot as a seam allowance, so it's around about 1/4 inch. Oh, we have Perla in Iceland. Julie, Wonky Street, the next one is due in March. If you don't know what Wonky Street is, that's, oh, are they here? There's the cushions up there. Those are projects for my Half Yard Sewing Club. So there will be 4. We've had 2 already. So spring and summer will be along over the next few months. I'm working on spring at the moment. And if I get time, I want to join them all together and make a quilt, because I think that'd look so nice. A Wonky Street quilt. Just have rows of the wonky houses and wonky bikes and wonky cars and things like that. If I could sew more days in the week, that would be a miracle actually, but that'd be very useful. Pauline's Alexa just went off. Oh, it's telling you to get some sewing done, Pauline. Lisa's getting off her bottom this afternoon and she's going to do some tidying. Snowing in Redditch. Okay, so literally just sewing along the top. Oh, I'm just going to switch my iron on as I'm sewing. Rosemary, where have you been? I hope it wasn't housework you were doing. So we're all over the place this morning, as in, have we got the Australian lady? Oh yes, Eva in Queensland. I was just going to say, what time is it down there? 9 o'clock PM, just after. Oh, thank you. Glad you like the books. So 9, yeah, we're 10 past 11. Where can I find the pattern for the bag? This one. This is from the Half Yard Club. If you haven't seen or heard of it, just take a quick look. I'm steaming down here, I didn't know I've got water in my eye. At all the W's, halfyardsewingclub.com. It's getting rather busy in that club, I have to say. there's one project a month with a video, there's one project a month without the video, and there's the block of the month as well. And it's a subscription website, so it's $5.99 a month. And it's worldwide, you can be anywhere. So just have a quick look. I'm not going to go into too much detail about Half Yard Club because we did all that last week, didn't we? But have a look if you are new. Lots of varied projects, from dressmaking to toy making. Anyway, enough of that. Go and have a look on the website. Hi, Beverly in Adelaide. Morning, Deborah. Right, so I'm pressing that so that the seam's right on the top of the pocket. Elixir. Oh, by the way, there's a bit of a sale going on my website. I've had people ordering all through the night. So just to let you know, if you want to bag yourself a bargain, that's on my Debbie Shaw sewing website. FYI. Okay, we've reduced quite a lot of fabrics. Making space for new ones. Morning, Shirley. Oh no, Olive. Hope you're all right now. You've seen the 4.5 strips. Sewn. Yes, the 4.5 inch strips. I've sewn them together across the top, Brenda. Oh, Sharon, post a picture of your block. Haven't seen anybody's blocks yet. That's again the block of the month from Half Yard Club. Yeah, I'd love to see pictures. Next one's out on the 1st of Feb, which is Monday, isn't it? It's February on Monday. I'm going to top stitch across the top of here, just to hold the layers together and make it look nice. So let's do that. So I'm going to lengthen the stitch because it looks nicer and it's not a seam, so it doesn't have to be small and strong, and literally just sew across the top. I think something's jammed in my foot pedal. We don't seem to be going very fast. Oh, we'll have a bit of slow sewing then. Slow sewing this morning. So if you wanted to use your fancy stitches on your sewing machine, that'd be an idea, wouldn't it? I'm not going to put handles on this one because it's so long. If you put a handle on it, it'll all just flop. So we're going to keep this one really simple. Oh, Shirley's mum's going to be 84 on Monday. Oh. Karen, mine is a Prim mini iron. It's quite a powerful little thing actually. It just gives a good blast of steam. Right, so we have this, and then we're going to sew. I'll sew it all together, and then we'll put the flap on and do the pockets, because otherwise it's all going to bag open, isn't it? So that'll help to keep it nice and tight. So that's going to go on there like that. Let's do it on the fleece side. I love this fabric. It looks, I know it's oranges, it looks quite tropical, doesn't it? Okay, so that's going to go together like that. So again, I'm going to put all of the dividing lines for the pockets afterwards when I've put it all together. I tell you what I will do, I will make the flap now, because I'm just thinking I don't want the flap really, don't want the stitches from the flap. I don't mind the stitches from the pockets, but I don't want the stitches from the flap to show through. So let's pop that on now. So let me take the smaller piece of fabric that was just left over from the end. So I've got 2 pieces here. I'm going to put a few pins in that. No, I'm not. I'll draw a line. So let's take this. So that's 6 inches wide, and I'm just going to curve the end of it. Like so. Perfect. So that, let me measure that for you. I will put all of the measurements on the screen when I've finished. So 6 inches wide that way, and it is 3.5 inches deep. So you can go there. So let's sew this right sides together. Just around the edge. Fabric's lovely, isn't it, Kim? It's this is on my website. It's a lightweight canvas, so it's quite firm, but it's not stiff. That didn't make any sense at all, did it? That was completely contradictory. But it's perfect for bag making. I would put some kind of interfacing on the back of it if you're making a bag, whether that's a fleece or a foam or something like that, just to give it a bit of stability. Make a nice jacket actually, wouldn't it? So that's that, and I'm just going to snip around the curve just to cut down on a little bit of the bulk. Should have put the snap on, shouldn't I? I'll do that in a minute. Lovely. Okay, I'll press that in a minute. I have got magnetic snaps I want to put on, so I'll do that now. Should have done it earlier really. So 2 of those. These are just 14mm magnetic snaps. You could use a popper if you wanted to. Goes there. And these need to go, fold that in half and mark the center point right in the middle, with the thin part on the underside, on the flap, and the thicker part, which has the magnet, goes onto the bottom bit. So I'm just going to mark on the back of here where that's going to go. Actually, not a bad thing to do it at this stage rather than before we put this together, because I can get it really close to the edge then, so I'm not interfering with the seam. If you put a magnetic snap on before you sew things together, it's sometimes difficult to get the sewing machine to go around it. So that is actually, in retrospect, rather a good idea. Right, so I'm just going to snip into those little marks that I've just made. So make tiny holes, because you can always make a small hole bigger. And I'm just pushing that through. So I've only gone through one side. Let's push that in there. Yeah, I like poppers, Jean. I've got quite a selection. Let's pop that on. Let's pop that on. And they're surprisingly strong as well, actually, aren't they, poppers? The plastic ones. Right. A small doggy poop bag holder with a circle in it like a curtain. That's a good idea. On the list, Helen. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to turn it back out again, and I'm just going to sew a little way across the top, but leaving a gap so I can turn it the right side out. So it only needs to be a couple of inches or so. There we go. What can you make with furry fleece fabric? Thinking a jumper. Isn't that the kind of thing that Tilly and the Buttons does quite a lot of? Those kind of loose sweatshirts be a nice idea. Right, come on, open up. So I'm just going to turn this the right side out. I've snipped across the corners here so that, again, it cuts down on the bulk of the fabric. Oh, -17 in Ontario. Wow, that's pretty cold, isn't it? All right, so I'm going to just push up those corners. and then we'll iron it. There we go. So just need to poke that bit out a little more. Doggy poop bag. I don't know if I've told you before, when I go walking with Bobbin, I keep a bag of cheese with me, all cut up into chunks, because she'll do anything for cheese. She's such a good girl for cheese, and I look like the perfect dog trainer. But I got into this habit because I hadn't got anything to keep the cheese in my pocket, so I just popped it in a spare poop bag. And I do get some strange looks when I'm walking along, and because whenever anybody walks towards us, particularly if they've got a dog, she'll sit and she'll wait till she has cheese, then we carry on walking, which is why I look like a brilliant trainer. But it must look very odd when I take a poop bag out of my pocket and feed my dog something and put it back again. Must get something else to keep the cheese in, I think. Might have the neighbours talking about me. Oh no, Michelle's broke her leg. Oh gosh, hope you're going to be okay. Are you in a cast? Awful. An armchair caddy. Nice idea. Jill, that was a, I think they're called, I don't know what they're called. A pokey thing to push out corners. I can't remember where I got that one from. Prim do one. They're just quite handy, because they do a round end so you can push out round corners, and a pointy end that pushes out pointy corners, but it doesn't go through your fabric. Oh, Lindsay, welcome along. Lindsay's joined the club and she's making Maddie. That's one of the projects as well. Oh, just remember to show photos. Right, this is going to go right in the middle. So I'm going to mark where the middle is by folding these in half. Give it a crease. There we go, put it back on top here. And my flap is just going to sit there, right in the middle. So I need the second side of my clasp putting on here. So this is a heat erasable pen. Let's move that down a bit, because I don't want to interfere with this seam allowance either. So let's just give that a little mark where the second half's going to go. We will have a pin in here, so I know where that's going to go. And then I'm going to mark the sides here, because I want the pocket to be the same size as the flap. So let's just mark at the side, about 1/4 of an inch I think away from the flap. That will do. So I know where to sew the pockets when I put the other side of the bag together. And then this can be sewn straight across the top. Make sure it's straight. Oh, second popper. Oh, I'll do that in a sec. So back stitch at the ends to strengthen that seam. We don't want the stitches coming undone. And then we'll just sew straight across. So that's the flap. But you could do more of those. You could have a flap over every pocket if you wanted to. I think that's a nice thing about things like this. It's not set in stone that you have to follow a pattern. It has to be made in this or that way. You can do what you like. And you could put another row of pockets on the other side as well. I'm not sure how much you'd be able to get in there, but if you've only got slim things, then that would work. Where's my pen gone? So let's put the second half of the clasp on the back here, if I can pick it up. So again, just mark the 2 little lines each side. I'm going to go through both layers, because you're not going to see the other side of this, but it also makes that the connection with the snap that little bit stronger. So let's do that. A pet coat with a treat bag. Oh, now that'd be cruel. Because I'm just imagining if I put a pet coat on Bobbin with a little bag of cheese, she'd be chasing her tail round in circles trying to get it. Let's push that through. morning, Terry in Mississippi. It says, first time live this morning. What time is it over there? I think there's some people getting up very early in the morning to join us. The dog advent calendar for Jane. Okay, so that's on there like that. Now we can put the whole thing together. So the second long piece of fabric, I need to make sure those edges are lined up. That's it. Second long piece of fabric goes right sides down over the top of this one. I don't think there's a right and wrong side as a direction to this fabric. That goes on there like that. And we'll have some pins to hold that together while we sew because it's quite long. So it goes in here. Tracy's making a Hannah bag. I tell you what, oh, you've gone, was it Tracy? No. Camilla, if you wanted to make and sell maddies, you make and sell maddies. I don't mind. If it's anything that I've designed or a book that I've written or an article for a magazine or any kind of project that I've come up with, if you want to sell them, that's absolutely fine. That give you permission to do that. Because, do you know, I think I'd want to do that myself. And my thinking, and I've said before, if you can make a bit of money back from what you've spent with me, then you might come back and spend some more. So I think it's good business practice. I'm no business person. A good business practice to allow you to sell whatever you make. I have no qualms whatsoever. A little credit would be nice, but don't worry about it. So yeah, that's absolutely fine. Now, a lot of people, and do be careful actually when you're buying patterns, dressmaking patterns and things like that. If you're making a dress for somebody and they are purchasing the dress from you, to be honest, I don't know how they'd find out, but I'm not saying you should do that. But a lot of dress pattern companies won't allow you to sell. People allow you to donate to charities normally, but a lot of them don't let you sell. So do be aware. It's always worth asking the question first, isn't it? You'll find that in craft books as well. It always says at the back of the book, if you wanted to make anything to sell, then get in touch with the publishers and they will decide whether you get permission or not. What the publishers do then is get in touch with the author, and it's down to the author or the designer at the end of the day whether they'll allow you to sell or not. So don't bother doing that with mine, just go and sell it. Give you permission. Hi Nellie in Peru. Now I'm sewing all the way around the edge, and I'm going to leave a gap in the middle because it's going to be easier to turn the two sides out to turn it. So let's just, a walking foot would have helped here. Fabric's bunching up a little bit. Morning Deborah. Making a bag organiser, Karen. It's a really simple roll-up organiser, so nothing too technical involved in this. Tutorial for making the kimono top. That is the February project, Jill from the Half Yard Club. Oh, I wanted to have a chat about that as well for club members. I've had so many questions asking which kind of fabric would be suitable, because I think a lot of you are getting your fabrics ahead of when it's launched. So the pattern, well, there's no pattern. You make your own. The project comes out on Monday on the Half Yard Club, and for this length, can you see the bottom of it there? It's kind of, on me it's top of my hips, so it's quite a short boxy jacket. You'll need 1.5 meters each of 2 fabrics, and the fabric, that's a viscose fabric with a cotton lining. The other one that I made, this one, let me just show you these, is polyester. So it's a linen or polyester. So the fabrics I've used on the pattern side are really quite fine, because it has a really lovely drape. It hangs really well. So there's no interfacing or anything like that in these jackets. It's a lightweight jacket, so I just wanted it to hang. Because it's so wide, I didn't want it to kind of do this. I wanted it to hang nicely. So a viscose is perfect. Viscose can be very slippery, so walking foot will help, and make sure you've got a large area to support the fabric, otherwise it tends to kind of pour off the table somewhat. But I think as well there's a lot of beautiful jerseys out there that again you've got that lovely drape, so it doesn't need to stretch, but jerseys are lovely fabric to work with. Polyesters are lovely, but a dressmaking weight of polyester, absolutely fine for those. And then the lining on both of them, I've just used a cotton. Oh, Cher's replying to Cher. No, viscose you can wash. It's not dry clean only. Pauline, viscose is it's a natural fabric. It's actually made from wood pulp. It's made from trees. Any fabric that you buy, actually, the manufacturers will always say cool wash. So I do 30-degree wash. You're going to be absolutely fine with viscose. Oh, Marion, I'm glad you like it. Now then, my fabric's grown a little bit. That's why I was saying a walking foot would have been helpful. So my top fabric's grown, but it doesn't matter at all. Let's turn it over, and we'll carry on from. No, we won't. I'm going to go down this. I'm going to go down the end because it shrunk. So I want to make sure I'm sewing from the side that shrunk. Lisa, was it this one, polyester, that you wanted on the website? We've got, if it's not there now, we definitely have more on order. So hopefully early next week I shall drop you an email if you like and let you know when we're back in stock. Jill, you just roll it up. Because it's, I'll explain later, but because you roll it and it fits different sizes of bags, you can roll it tight or you can roll it loose. So there's nowhere to actually fasten it. So you just roll it up and drop it inside your bag. Because if you rolled it and tied it or velcroed up at a button or a tie or something, it can only be that one size. So I just thought it would be more versatile if we didn't have any fastening on it. That was my thinking. Right, am I back to where have I left my gap? There. So I didn't want to sew all the way around without leaving that gap. I do that quite a lot. Do you get club price cheaper if you do 6 months? No, and if you do a year, you get 2 months free. So it's either monthly at £5.99 or yearly for £60, £59.99 or something. So yeah, two months for free if you go for a year. Oh, Dorna's in St Lucia. Oh, how beautiful. Oh, sharp scissors those. Snipping off the corners again. Not that sharp. Like so. And then we'll turn it the right side out.
Coffee break.
Oh, thank you. Has it stopped raining?
No.
Oh, thank you. Now let's have a cuppa while we're working, isn't it? So let's turn this the right side out. Hello, Amanda in South Africa. Morning, Clasina. What a lovely name. In Australia, it's evening time. Oh, Tanvi and Tanvi Drupta. I got some beautiful exotic names this morning. Oh, I know, Geraldine. Wouldn't swap him for the world. And Bobbin's gone to bed with my son. Oh, he's gone now, Alex and Jane. He's delivered coffee and disappeared. Yeah, it's raining, and then she gets all worried when we leave the house. Because we're at the bottom of the garden down here, so she won't come down here in the rain, so she's gone to bed. Right, let's poke out these corners again. I'm not on Sewing Street tomorrow, Linda. I know I'm down there on the schedule and everything, but I'm not actually there. I should be there next week because I'm launching my book. But I've got a day off tomorrow. Alison's making a dog jacket. Right, so poke that out that way, then we'll iron this one. Alternative to H640. There are other brands, but I only use the Valaiseline one because I like it, so I've never really tried any other ones. Oh, no, I'll tell you what, Bose will do one. Bose will do a very good fusible fleece. So that's the same kind of thing. Pellon, I think, do one. But this is the one that I like. You could use an interface thing, you know, the kind of thing that you use in collars and plackets and things like that on clothing. I just think it needs something to make it stand up. You know, if that was just 4 pieces of fabric, it'd flop completely. So this isn't really stiff. I didn't want it too bulky, but I just found that the perfect kind of weight for something like this. Let's give this a press and then we'll sew some pockets on. So again, I'm only putting pockets on the one side. You could put them on both sides if you wanted to. And those little flaps could go, you could put a few more of those on as well. Oh, Lisa's got a sewing question. Can you insert a concealed zip using a normal zipper foot, or do you need a concealed zip foot? You can use a normal zipper foot. You can use a normal foot. I don't know if I've got... Bear with me 1 second, because I don't know if I've got any invisible zips down here, but if I have, they'll be in my box of tools down here. Do bear with me. If I can show you, then I certainly will do. Now then. Bear with me. What have I got? That's not invisible. There we go. We'll do an invisible zip when we finish this one, shall we? Aim to please. Right, let's finish this off first then. So again, just pressing that. The ironing board, Nikki, was a I don't want to iron over those marks. It was on Facebook. I can't remember the date. It was about 3 weeks ago. Here on my Facebook page. So if you have a look in the video section on my Facebook page, you should see it there. It's ever so easy. It was just some cardboard, like corrugated cardboard, and I've put a few layers together with the corrugation in opposite directions because then it won't bend. Then I wrapped it up in tin foil, and that'll stop the damp getting through to the cardboard, and it also helps to reflect the heat back up again. And then I put some wadding around it, just like wool wadding, and then made a bag for the fabric and hand sewed the end over. So it's ever so easy, but it's very helpful. Yes, you could attach a zip to the orange part. I was thinking about that when I was thinking how I was going to do this morning, where to actually put it, because you wouldn't want one big long zip all the way down, would you? So maybe something like one of my letterbox zips would work actually in the background fabric. I'm still thinking how to put a zip in now. That may be a whole new tutorial. I think like quite a few people have made these ironing pads. Jan. Morning, Pamela. Oh, Maureen. Yeah, hopefully you got that. It's on my Facebook page for the ironing pad. Right, I'm folding the edges. Let me show you. From this way, folding the edges of the opening under. So they meet, and then I'm going to sew all the way around, and that'll close the opening there as well. And then we'll have some pockets in there too. So that's my main pocket in the centre, and that fastens over like that. That needs to come up a little bit. That's it. And then I'm just going to draw some dividing lines for the rest of the pockets. And these can be however big or small you want them to. So let's do the end one. We're going to have 5 inches here. And then something to fit my phone in. So that can go there like that. And I've got my pocket with a flap there already. So let's have another one, about 4 inches. And then we'll go halfway to the end there. That will do. So if you've got something specific, I'm thinking if you're making this for a baby bag and you want to put bottles, or you've got your water bottle or something you want to put in there, then measure them accordingly. And then we're going to sew all the way around. So again, I can lengthen the stitch on this because it's just a top stitch. And away we go. Late this morning, talking to family by Skype in Taiwan. Oh, lovely. I think, you know, the technology these days, with this ridiculous situation that we're in, is amazing, isn't it? Can you imagine a pandemic even 30 or 40 years ago, when we used to write letters and telephone calls are so expensive, you know, particularly when you were phoning abroad. So I'm closing the opening, sew over the top. That's that. Oh, thank you, Kay. 1st of January is when we did the ironing board. That was handy. Right, into that corner and round we go. So stop with the needle down as you're turning around. Esma's in South Africa. Thank you. One more. Hi, Lynn from Norfolk. I do go back through your messages afterwards. It's normally my my Saturday night little thing, is to sit there and go through all of your messages. It's lovely to hear from so many of you. Is that Connie? Connie, we're making a purse organiser. Just a really simple roll-up purse organiser. Oh, thank you, Jane. Samantha did the cosmetic bag. That was a really popular one, actually. When did we do that? Was that last week? It was last week, wasn't it? Like a double zip cosmetic bag. But it's one of those techniques that when the penny drops, it's so satisfying to actually see it come together. Let's show what I'm doing. Hi, Teresa. And back to the beginning. Christy, my coffee is absolutely piping hot at the moment. I can see the steam coming off it. Right, now I'm going to sew the dividing pockets. I like to sew from the bottom of the pocket upwards, because sometimes when you sew downwards the fabric kind of wrinkles, you get a little crease at the bottom. So that's what I do. So I'm just going over those lines, back stitching at each end, and that'll make the seam nice and strong. And again, I've left sewing the pocket on till the end, so I'm sewing through both pieces of fabric, because if I put anything heavy in there and I hadn't sewn it to the other side of the fabric, then it'd go baggy. So smaller pockets for pens you could do. It's the one with the flap on. So we're making a purse organiser. Oh, Elizabeth, thank you. 5 years ago. How long have you been sewing for? I can't actually remember starting to sew because I was so young. So sewing's always been a part of my life. I can remember tying a bow for the very first time. That was exciting. It was on a doll's bonnet. My mum used to be, she was a dressmaker, but her job was a draftswoman. so she used to work from home quite a lot, and I can remember sitting, she was at her desk, and I was sitting on the floor with my doll at the side of her playing. I don't know how old I was, probably about 5 or 6 or something, and I can just remember how excited I was that I tied this bow on the neck. It's funny, isn't it, what you remember? Oh, blame me, Ditzer. I'm quite happy to take the blame. I'm just taking away the pen marks. Oh, I missed a pocket out there. Quite happy to take the blame for people buying sewing machines. That would make amazing wallpaper, wouldn't it, Sally? So let me just sew down the pocket that I forgot to do. There we go. Mum taught me dressmaking at 13. Yeah, I was brought up, we didn't make bags when I was younger, and we didn't have cushions all over the place. It was literally just dressmaking or making dolls' clothes and things like that. Linda, this sewing machine is an Elna 570A. It's actually my daughter's machine. The one that I normally use is a Janome 6600. Oh, thank you, Connie. I don't know about the young. Hello, Preci, in the Philippines. Nice to have you along. Thank you. Right, we're done. Oh, thank you, Stephen. That's a pleasure. That's it. All I should have brought. Let me see what goodies I've got to put in this. So basically, what you're going to do is to pop your bits and bobs in. I always have an egg timer with me. We could have some thread in there. Let's have some bigger bobbins as well. It's coming undone. Oh, and then we're going to do an invisible zip without an invisible zip foot. For our Lisa, bag of poppers. I did one for my phone, didn't I? Which one was the phone one? That was the phone one. And that goes in there. And then this rolls up and goes in your bag. It's as easy as that. And again, because there's no fastenings, it doesn't have handles or anything like that. If you wanted to fill a bigger bag, then you can do. Whoops. If you need a gap in the middle so that you've got somewhere that you can put a purse or a wallet, you've got space there as well. If you've got a very big tote bag, you can spread it right out. If you have a smaller bag, you can simply roll it all up like so. So I hope you found that useful. Again, it's a really quick and easy project to make. But that's what we do on a Saturday morning, don't we? We save the complicated ones to those occasions that I can edit out the very long stretches of sewing that you don't really want to see here on a Saturday morning. So that's that. And again, if you wanted to make that deeper, if you've got water bottles and things like that, you might want to add a couple of inches to the top of that to hold them in place. But it's just really helpful. Kirsty made rubbish dolls' clothes. Oh, Elizabeth, that's a good idea. Again, maybe make that a little bit deeper if you're going to put pencils in it. But it's adjustable. You can make it any size that you like, basically. Right, invisible zips. So that's that. What fabric have I got? Oh, bear with me. I've got scrap fabric or spare fabric down here. No fabric scrap, is it? Got a pink, had some green somewhere. Sure, I had some green. Okay, let me just. That one's better. I'll just cut out a couple of pieces of fabric to sew this in between. So we'll do it here, and we'll do the whole seam. There we go. Because with an invisible zip, if you're dressmaking or putting this into a cushion cover or anything like that, you're going to put the zip in before you sew the seam. So it's not like putting a normal zip in, where you sew the seam first. Connie's creative juices are flowing. That's what we like to hear, Connie. Linda is practice sewing around curves and to keep the fabric moving and not to watch the needle but watch the edge of the fabric and where it's going. I tell you what might make it a little bit easier for sewing curves. If you have any kind of sewing machine foot with a guide on it, again just bear with me because I'm not sure what I've done with my bag of feet. Let's have a look if I've got a foot with a guide on. Well, my zipper foot just fell out, so I can use that. Oh, tip them all out. Right, if you have a foot like this, which is actually a blind hem foot, it's got a guide on the bottom here. So if you use that guide up against the edge of your fabric, have a practice foot just to make sure that the needle's in the right position, then that's going to help you sew in a straight line. Do you know, that really annoys me. I don't like to see bits like this. So that's one. Oh, that's another. That's a good one. That's a 1/4 inch foot with a guide. Not all 1/4 inch feet have guides, but again, the guide goes up against the edge of your foot, and then that one's actually got 2 needle positions on it as well. So you could use that one, or if you have an over edge foot, that has a guide on it as well. So again, pop the guide up against the edge. So then when you're going around a circle, the guide is going to keep the needle in the right position. So just a bit of a tip for you there. I didn't know I got all these feet with it. It's not my sewing machine. That's a good idea for circling needles, Kim. I'm not a knitter, so I don't think of these things. Sorry, Maud uses a 1/4 inch foot. Yeah, I think it's just thinking outside the box a little bit, isn't it? There we go. And not sticking to the rules. Just because it's a 1/4 inch foot doesn't mean it's just for quilting. Right, where's my zip gone now? Can anybody see my zip? There I am showing you an invisible zip demonstration and I've lost my zip. Well, how silly is that? Is it on my knee? Nope. Oh, do bear with me. Yeah, Janice, it was from Christmas Day. We did a quiz on Christmas Day. Has it gone down there, I wonder? No. Maybe I put it away. I did. I folded it up in that fabric and put it away. Do apologise. See, you don't get this on my YouTube channel because I would edit something like that out, but you kind of get it warts and all when we're live, don't you? Morning, Helen. Right, so this is where my seam's going to be. Let's get on with it. So I'm just cutting my fabric in half. And then before I put the iron away, I'm actually going to iron the zip coil open. So let me just, no, I don't want to do that. All right, I'm just doing that because I want to do this and I want to make sure you can see what I'm doing. So an invisible zip, if you haven't seen or used one before, has the teeth on the back. It's not actually teeth per se, it's a coil. So if you were to pull this open, it would actually be one long piece of nylon that coils around to make what look like teeth. But on the front of the zip, you don't see anything at all. So you shouldn't, that's why it's called a concealed zip, you shouldn't see the zip at all. They're recognisable because most invisible zips have a teardrop shape to their zip pull. Now what I'm going to do is open up the zip, because when you sew this in, this is on the back side, you're going to roll over those teeth and sew just behind it there. So if you have an invisible zip foot, that automatically does it. So when you feed this under the channel of your invisible zip foot, that folds open, and then you've got a guide as to where you're going to sew. So in fact, I'm going to use the regular standard foot on my sewing machine, but you'll find it easier if you've done this for the first time to take a warm iron and just iron it flat. So don't hover over the teeth for too long. I don't want to melt them. So I can just roll over that coil and open it out. It'll spring back again, but at least it'll have a little bit of a memory as to what you want it to do. And the same on this side, so roll it open. Like so. I think if you're going to do a lot of invisible zips, Lisa, I would buy an invisible zip foot because it's a lot quicker. You don't have to do all of this business with it. Right, so that's that. So I'm just going to move this out of the way so I can see your comments again. Right, let's just hide that one. Right, so this would be the wrong side of my fabric. And the way I kind of like to get my head around it is I want the zip to sit in the middle of the two pieces like so. So I'm going to sew this side first of all, so I'm going to flip the whole thing over onto this side. Now you can pin it if you wanted to. And like so. If you're making a dress or something with a specific seam allowance, bear in mind it may not be exactly the same seam allowance as you have on your zip tape. So you need to measure and mark where that's going to go. Let's do that way. Did I say there was going to be a surprise tomorrow? Last week you said there's going to be a surprise tomorrow if you're not in. I can't remember what I was. Sorry, I don't remember saying that. Right. So I don't need the iron anymore. So again, take your time with this bit. Let's see what I'm doing. You'll have a bit at the top for your either a waistband or the top of the dress. Start with this zip needle down, right, and then can you see what I'm doing? We're going to roll this open as we're sewing. So I've got rather long stitch length on there, and sew quite close to the coil. So I have to admit my head is normally kind of like this when I'm sewing these, so I'm trying to keep out of the way, and I can't actually see where I'm going too well. So don't sew over the coil if you can help it. If you do, you're going to have to go back and unpick those stitches because your zip won't open. If you don't sew close enough to the coil, you can always go back again. Alright, so just again I'm rolling the teeth out of the way, and it leaves like a ridge right next to the teeth, and I'm trying to sew straight down that ridge. Now you'll never sew right to the end of the zip because the slider is in the way at the end, so just sew as close as you can to it. Like so. So that's that, and that looks good on that side too. Okay, then this is just what I do. because it can get a little bit confusing when you start to put the two sides together. So I lay the fabric back out again. That zip sewn in there. So it was like that. So I want this side to go right sides together with that one. So I'm going to flip the whole thing over and sew down this side. So obviously this is only on a scrap piece of fabric. You're going to measure the right distance from the top and match it. If you've sewn this into a dress and it has a waist seam on it, make sure that the two seams on each side of the zip match, because that's going to look really odd. Let's sew this here. And let's open it up. I'll have to have a look back last week. I don't remember saying a surprise. Oh, that's going to be really disappointing if I said it was going to be a surprise and then there isn't one. Maybe that's the surprise. There's no surprise. So go and fold over the, could be a little bit closer. Fold over the coil and sew quite close to it. I think I could be a little bit closer with that one, but we'll see. So you could use a zipper foot, but to be honest, I think a standard foot's going to be a bit easier anyway, because that's helping to keep the zip open. It's kind of flattening it as I'm sewing. So let's go right down as far as we can again to the end. And stop there. So I've got that. Now this kind of twists open and backwards and forwards, and you'll think you've got it wrong, but you haven't. Honestly. So let's start to do this up, because that's twisted. That's it. When I first started doing this, the number of times, because it kind of, it wants to do this as you're sewing, and it's just, it looks completely wrong, and I would unpick all of this and try and do it all over again, and all that had happened was the fabric had twisted. So that's why I like to lay it down, make sure it's the same, lay it down again, then put on the second side. And then when we do the zip up now, it should be like that. Could have got a bit closer on that side as I was sewing, as I said, so it should have been nice and tight like this. But if I was doing that in a garment, I'd go back over it again and just make sure that you can't see it. And then from the bottom, because you've still got a seam open here, you're going to move the end of the zip out of the way, line up the edges and sew up to the point where you started sewing here, and they should match. So again, take into account if you're following a pattern, you've got your seam allowance, you've pinned it, you've notched it and everything else that you're supposed to do. So again, moving this bit out of the way, you can't see that, can you? I'll show you in a sec. Right, so move this bit out of the way and then sew from the bottom up to the point where you started sewing here. And then when we turn this to the right side, you shouldn't really see where the zip starts and where the seam finishes. So just undo that again. Obviously it looks so much better if it was pressed as well. So if I just bring that down, that's where the zip finishes. And again, when you zip it up, shouldn't really see the zip at all. Hi Maury, 7 AM in Kentucky. Gosh, you're up bright and early this morning. Mary, oh, Nifty, says Fiona, thank you. The pillow with the houses at the back, any way to get the pattern. That is part of the, it's a project from the Half Yard Sewing Club, my subscription website. So yes, you can, but you need to be a club member. So if you have a look on halfyardsewingclub.com, that'll give you all of the details. Launch of the book. Do you know that my dressmaking book is launching on Sewing Street next week? I don't know what time. That's that one. I'll show you again because I'm chuffed with it, to be honest. There you go. I am. So this is Sewing Room Secrets. This is dressmaking for beginners. Invisible zips are included in this as well. So there's not every fabric that's ever been made in here. They're the ones that you're probably going to use most of all. 6 a.m. in Kansas. Upcycling fabric terminology. But again, it's not a Bible. There's not everything you'll ever need to know. There's everything that you need to know to get yourself started. And then moving on to, measuring is so important as well. So it's quite a comprehensive measuring guide. But again, I'm not going to show you how to measure your wrists and your ankles and your head and stuff like that. It's the things that you need to know to get yourself started. So understanding patterns and symbols, transferring those patterns and symbols, which is really important. There is a kimono jacket in here. This isn't a lined one, but it's made using your measurements. So there's no patterns in the book. There's a bit of upcycling as well, so just some ideas. There's your invisible zip, a shirt and a jumper made into a dress, for instance, shirts to skirts, jumpers to skirts, and then the wrap skirt is from scratch, so that you'll make to fit yourself. Again, there's no pattern for it. Love the circle skirt for the kids. That's such a pretty little skirt. And the batwing dress is made from a template from a t-shirt. And then there's a little bit about alterations, how to make things fit, you know, like baggy waists on jeans and things like that. So again, that's for beginners. But it launches next Saturday on Sewing Street. Not sure when it's available on Facebook, on Amazon, but it will be. It is available to pre-order on my website, on debbieshawsewing.com. Relates to making garments such as shirts and jackets for men. No, there isn't, Derek, I'm afraid. Yeah, big shortfall there, isn't there? I'll put some thought into that. Holly, my sewing club is, shall I write that down for you? It's the Half Yard Sewing Club. We do so much. Actually, if you have a look, if you do, no, I took YouTube last week. That was all about the Half Yard Club, so I'll take you through the projects, and I think we had a look on the actual website as well, and have a look there. But if you have a look on this one, .com, halfyardsewingclub.com, that's the one. I'll put it on Facebook as well. But that's where the Wonky Street patterns are as well. I noticed a question earlier on. Hi Kathleen, welcome along. That's all right, Holly. Go and have a look around. See if you like it. For the fight bag, the dog fabric had trouble going round corners. Oh, your message disappeared there. Just a second. They are available on Search Press to pre-order. They won't be signed from Search Press. Do you have a video? No, I don't have a video for that one, Annabelle, I'm afraid. Delivery by 1st of February. Oh, that's surprising, because I thought Sewing Street had an exclusive on those. I haven't got any books yet, so I mean, if you pre-order from me, they haven't actually arrived at the moment because it's brand new. Hazel, you can do that. Now that we have I've arranged a discount code for you for Search Press. It's, I can't remember what it is. I put it on my Facebook page. I shall let you know what that discount code is. It's UK only, I'm afraid. The postage is just too much to send out of the country. DD103. And anyway, I should double check and put it on there. But basically, it means that you can get 20% discount off any book, anything at all. So you can pre-order mine and get 20% off. So the books won't be signed. And DD105 is it? Thank you, Sharon. If you spend over £20, then you get free postage in the UK as well, so that's worth having a look at. But that is directly from Search Press. That's not on my website. So you go to the Search Press website and then have a look at all of their books, and you can get 20% off. Okay then, well, we are about out of time. Diana, you're going to get yours before mine then. That's the only copy I've got. I didn't make the dress. I wish I had. I wish I could take the credit for it, but don't have time at the moment. 7 a.m. in Ohio. Hello, good morning, Kathleen. Oh, thank you very much. I don't do personalised sewing, Alison, actually, but that's a nice idea. Okay, well, I'm going to tootle off. I will be doing a YouTube tutorial. I'm going to start filming it this afternoon for a more structured bag organiser. So if that's the kind of, if you don't want the roll-up one, you want an actual box shape to go inside your bag, then I'm going to be doing that. But it might be a couple of days before I can actually get it onto YouTube because of the editing time. So I shall see you again here next Saturday, YouTube and on Facebook at 11 o'clock in the morning UK time. If you wanted to hop over to my website, then that's debbieshawsewing.com. On Wednesday afternoon at 2 o'clock I make something and have a little chat, very much like this, but on a Wednesday. Take care of yourself as well, Janet. Thank you very much. How to put a zip into bag lining. We can do that, Leah. Let's just check that I'm up to date. I think so. I'll go back through all your messages later on and check if there's anything leaping out at me that I need to answer. But thank you for joining me again this morning. Been a nice morning, hasn't it? Coffee hasn't gone too cold. I think the rain's stopped now, so I might even be able to take the dog for a walk. So do enjoy the rest of your weekend. Keep up the sewing. Keep sending me the pictures on Facebook if you can. And I shall see you again here next Saturday morning at 11 o'clock live on YouTube and on Facebook. You take care of yourself. Bye-bye.